Hi, welcome back to my own little kitchen. It's been a while, I know. Trust me. But we're back and we're better than ever. Today, I'm going to make mini potato skins. We're using mini potatoes. I'm going to boil them. Then I'm going to mash them in here. So these have already been washed and drained. I've got water going. It's already been salted with about 1 teaspoon of salt. You should always wait until the water boils before you add your salt, or it could damage your pans. So now they have to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're soft. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for them to cook, I've got 3 slices of bacon that I'm going to cook up and crumble. That's going to be one of the ingredients that I sprinkle on the finished potatoes. Also, now I'm going to spray the tins. Even though this is a non-stick muffin pan, it's always better to spray. Now, if you wanted to use the muffin cups, the paper liners, you can go right ahead. But with this kind of potato, it's going to get messy. Generously grease it. You can use cooking spray, you can use butter, you can use Crisco. There's any number of ways you can grease these. I like the spray because it gets in all the little crevices. Normally I don't like my bacon crispy, but because I'm going to crumble it, we want it nice and crisp. The bacon is nice and crispy now. I'll drain it in a little bit and break it into crumbs once I finish chopping the onions. One of the ingredients for this is chopped onion. Instead of chopped onion, you could also use green onion or scallion, whatever you'd like to call it. But unfortunately, while I was at the store today, guess what I forgot? So I'm going to chop up some onion and throw it in the bacon grease to saute till it's nice and crispy. And then I'll put that on top of the potatoes also. Since this is onion and not scallion, it's going to be a little bit on the stronger side. So you want to make sure you chop it in pretty fine chunks here. That's an oxymoron, pretty fine chunks. You want a fine chop on this. You can see how crispy it is. It's breaking off as I'm trying to get it out of the pan. I'm going to drain it a little bit on this paper towel and let it cool down enough for me to crumble. In the meantime, the potatoes have been boiling about 5 minutes. We'll check now. You want the fork to go in easily. Never use a knife because the way a knife is made with a very sharp pointed edge, it'll tell you they're ready when they're not. I can just penetrate it a little bit, so these will need about another 5 minutes or so. We're going to put the pan back on the heat, on a low heat, because that oil is still pretty hot. And I'm going to add the onion and soften it up just a little bit. It'll only take a minute or two. Let me stir that around. You can see the oil's bubbling a little bit, which shows you that it's hot enough. You can just hear a little bit of the sizzle. Now, if these were larger pieces, I'd leave them in a little bit longer, but again, I don't want to burn them too much, so I'll take them out. Another way of doing this would be to put this by the edge, and with the flat part of the blade, just push. And you can see it's all crumbs. Now I'm going to put the onions on here to let them drain. Okay, so now we'll be ready for when the potatoes are all set. Spread those out to make them easier to grab. A few more minutes. Even though these are small, these are Yukon potatoes, which are considered a waxy potato. And waxy potatoes usually take longer to cook than starchy potatoes like a russet or an Idaho. But about 3 more minutes and we should be set. Alright, you can see how easily the fork is going in. So these babies are finally ready. All I have to do is drain them and we'll be ready to start. It took about 20 minutes total for these smaller potatoes to get soft. Alright, so you gotta work while these are still hot. And now that I'm looking at these are going to be too big, so I'm going to cut each one in half. I can save the rest of these for mashed potatoes. All right. Now what you want to do is add salt and pepper while they're in this state. I like my pepper shaker.
Shake it, baby.
Shake it, baby. The skins will pull apart a little bit on the bottom, that's fine. These are really good for appetizers, or if you're having a football game and you want some fast finger food. Because if this goes according to plan, once they're cooked, they should stay all together and not fall apart. Keyword being planned. Keyword being planned. Alright, so now we take bacon, sprinkle a little bit in each one. Take just a little bit of the onion. If you don't want to do this with the onion, you can always use onion powder at this point. And the same if you wanted to add garlic. And then we put some shredded cheddar cheese. It could be mild, it could be sharp. And you want to add a bit because this is what really makes it tasty, and this is the glue that holds it together. If you were using green onion, you could add it now, or you can wait until after it's cooked and put some on top of the sour cream. All right, my oven is heated to 350 degrees. And I will put this in just long enough for the cheese to melt. Yeah, they look pretty good now. The cheese is melted and almost bubbling. So now we put a little bit of sour cream on there. If you've had these kinds of potatoes in restaurants as appetizers, potato skins, I love them. They have a variety of fillings in them, but I like this one. You want to put it on while it's warm so the sour cream will spread a little bit. And because I forgot the green onion or scallions, I'm going to decorate it with just a little bit more of the bacon. You can never have too much bacon. Especially at a football party. And now the moment of truth. Let's see how well I grease these suckers and if they're going to come out all right. Voila! They're falling apart because they're hot. Once they cool, it'll be easier. So once you put the topping on, you can either let them cool in the muffin pan or attempt to take them out like I'm doing and moving them onto a platter. Maybe I need 2 forks. Messy, 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 but oh so good. And there you have it. Mini potato skins, great for a football party or any time. I'm Roger. Thank you for joining me in my own little kitchen.